Hey everybody, it's Mike with Monkey Fab. Just doing a quick update on the Phoenix, the Pahonix. It's been doing real good. It's funny, I was just talking today about how boring these kind of videos, people walking around the camera videotaping shit is. But I'm gonna do it anyway. So we're gonna make it interesting. We're gonna turn around. It's gonna come back. You gotta stay tuned. Hang in there. So the engine bay, we added a boost controller, and I turned it up all the way, and we're still only making like 5 pounds of boost, so that's when the spring is getting pressed open with the exhaust pressure. But that's fine because it's got lots of issues that we still got to work out. The drive line, of course, being the big one. But I also called the air compressor dude, the air conditioner guy, and lesson learned. Just because this is what they set up last time doesn't mean this is what they like to work on. So my friend that had this setup running, he told me where to go. I called them up, and I told them what I had. I said, hey, you said you did it. And they pissed and moaned and weren't necessarily super happy. I guess they don't like the old style. I think it's called R4 pump, and how it lays out and everything that's needed to get it to work. So he said change it out. So I ordered the Sudan, I think it's called 711 something or another. So it's smaller, and it also, what I do like about it is it has a idler arm that's like preloaded, it's spring loaded, so that will take up slack, because this whole system doesn't have anything to take up slack in it right now. It's just tension based, and it needs to have some kind of slack device to kind of catch when you whip through the RPM. So that'll be nice, and I'm not terribly upset about having to change that out. And something's squeaking here, and I think it's the pulley. I don't know if I just don't have enough spacing on the back of it to kind of kick the bearings off, but it's annoying. And we're taking it to a car show tomorrow, so that'll be fun. So we got to fix that, and I still need to do a breather box, because I have no crank. I do have crankcase ventilation. It's just the ports are left wide open. So luckily there's nothing coming out of them. You see down there, it's nice and clean. But it won't hurt to hook that up, just to have something, just in case it does spew a little bit of oil through those guys to kind of catch it. So I'll make a little box for that. I want to make a windshield wiper reservoir today, and that's what we're going to be doing. That's the theme of today. I went and bought one of these universal motors, and I'm trying to think about where I can stick this in the engine bay. Other things, I got everything I need for my fancy ass center console to put together, to include cup holders, power inverters, USB ports, and a Bluetooth speaker holder. That will be the entertainment center. And other than that, we got the transmission. I also picked up a 8.8, a 31 spline 8.8 out of a 06 Mustang. They just came with 31 splines, and I don't have to shorten the axle tube. And it was it didn't have the brake. It didn't have the brake calipers, and it just didn't have the brake calipers. It came with the rotors. So I got a little bit of a deal on it. I paid like $400 for the axle, and it was like another $120 I think to get the calipers for it. So overall, I know I could have picked up a Explorer Rear for like $200, but it would have been hours spent kind of chopping it and welding it back together and hoping everything turned out well. So it was just a no-brainer to kind of just go ahead and go that route with the already done. I'll just do the mounts on the bottom and slap it in place of this. We're waiting on the converter though, so it's been a month on our converter, so we're still waiting for that. I actually sent out the email today talking about, hey homie, it's been a month, just want to check on this since I haven't heard anything from you guys. So I think what probably happened is I paid it, and it probably just kind of got filed in the file cabinet, and it probably hasn't even been looked at yet. So I'm sure the email will probably get it fixed, and it should be here pretty quick, so we can get the old drive line. That'll change everything. So the stall on this thing is the biggest burden right now. Is it just stalls? It's like, it's supposed to be a 3,000 stall converter, but it's stalling at like 1,500 ish. And it doesn't slip too. It's just kind of cool that it holds the power, although it's only 5 pounds of boost, so what could it possibly be making? But it just, you have to wait till 3,000 RPM, and then this car, it means you go from 0 to like 35, just pretty, like whatever stock, pushes. And then once you're there, then it starts building boost, and it'll push you all the way to like 70, 75 in first gear, and you'll be going 90, 100 before you know it, which is terrifying in this thing because the suspension's not there to do that, and the steering's way over assisted, and the brakes are kind of too grippy for the width of the tire, which isn't enough. So it's basically a death trap is the feeling. So I don't know, probably have to start kind of digging through each one of those issues. But today the issue is the water squirters. I like to have clean windshields, and they're filthy and they got dust and stuff all over it. So I have the wire all set aside, but where the old reservoir was, which is right there, there is a turbo sitting. So I'm kind of thinking, well, where in the engine bay would be a good place to put it. And while I have lots of room, I could just make something, which might not be a bad idea, just to build off the frame rail. But I'm also thinking maybe right here in this nose, like I can take out this bracket maybe, and then I can make something that's as tall as the intercooler, basically, to maybe here. I can't see if there you go, from like the intercooler to here, and then put like a little lid, and it's not really obstructing any of the wind because there's no wind obviously getting through that. So that's an idea. I don't know, we'll see. We'll start measuring stuff and doing stuff and see what happens. So here is what I'm thinking for this water reservoir. I removed this bracket, and there was another bracket inside that kind of it kind of holds the nose, like a little support for the nose, although this is pretty sturdy for 1970s plastic. But it will fit, let's see, right in there. It's just nice little cubby for it. The problem is I'm really feeling super lazy, which is nothing new, but I don't want to take the entire bumper off to fill that thing up. So what I'm going to do is figure out the distance that I have between here and here, here and here, and here and here, and that's going to be how kind of wide I can make it at an angle. Because what I can do is I can slide it in there and then tip it forward. I have to have enough that I have room to tip forward and clear the top and clear all this mess that's going to sit down here, and then I need to be able to slide it forward, and I have to have some kind of system to secure it somewhere. I have to have it bolted up so it's not, obviously knocking around and stuff in there. I do have some cardboard for my cardboard aided design, so we'll start measuring up and do like arts and crafts and make something to sit in there and see how it looks. And that's just basically the flow. That's the flow of it all. So that's what we're gonna do. Knocked out the CAD design real quick, and it's not complete, but I don't need these guys. It would just be a waste of time because this is all I need to know is, can I fit this in there? And once it's in there, in the point of the hood, how do I make mounting brackets for that? So this is good enough for what I need. I just need to know if I could drop it in and drop it down into place, and then now I need to figure out a couple more things. So I have to figure out where we're gonna put a fill cap on this guy, and I'm probably gonna have to, this is like airtight, and the welds are gonna be too, so it's gonna create like a vacuum kind of condition in here. So I'm gonna have to pop a hole in the top of my lid to kind of make for like a pressure differential, to make up for the pressure differential that's going to be created by pumping out the water, obviously. The kind of the same thing we always do. We figure out what the shape's going to be on the sides and then do the wrap around it. So basically we have a top and a bottom like this, and we're going to bend this piece to go all the way around the front, and then this piece here will just go on the back. And I think we'll go ahead and just do that, just get it all welded up, and then we'll figure out like where we need to make our fill neck and drill the hole for the pump to go into it, and that'll be about it. There we go. So got it all bent up. It's got a nice little kind of a corner to it. That's how I like it, to have like kind of a nice V shape. And we'll just mark this guy here and shear that off, and the stomp shear, I usually leave this a little bit long because it's near impossible. I'm sure it's possible, I'm just too retarded, but doing the math to figure out how much you're going to use in the bends and trying to make it come out perfect is kind of hard. The easiest thing to do is just make it a little long and then just mark it and whoop, knock it off in the shear. And or you can use a circular saw to cut that stuff. The only problem with the circular saw, you can cut all this out on a circular saw. The only problem with the circular saw is, even with these, if you have this fancy PVC coating on these guys to protect it from getting scratched, the chips that come off the circular saw have a tendency to get underneath the sliders, and it gets kind of like just the vibrations and whatever, it'll rip through that PVC and actually leave scratches all over. So top tip, if you're going to use a circular saw to cut your aluminum, try to make all the cuts on the back side, that way you can't see the scratches. So here's that test plate, and 1 through 4 was kind of my normal settings, 65 AC balance with maybe frequency at 100, and I just kind of turn the flow down. You see 1, 2, and 3, it kind of progressively gets better as I bump the flow up, and on number 4 I was like, yeah, it's probably pretty good, and I started running the beads in the box. However, it wasn't going that well in the box, so I just kind of stopped, and I decided, well, we'll swap out to this gas lens that I have sitting here to number 5 and see how it works. And I've changed the AC balance to like 70. A little less cleaning action, but whatever it was, it kind of fixed it. You know, the bleeds were looking a lot shinier, and that's kind of what I was going for. So, note to self: if things are going poorly, stop and try to figure it out. You know, even though everything's you can kind of use everything the same, sometimes it doesn't turn out the same, and that might have to do a lot with the atmosphere and how much humidity is in the air, or temperatures and stuff like that. All right. This microphone. So we got this guy kind of welded up. You guys probably saw from the video. I got you on the shitty cam. We'll switch over to the nice 4K cam. I just had to get some files off it. Thing with these damn things, they just eat up space. They eat some disk space. But yeah, I was on Struggle Street, man. I started back on the back. I usually try to do the least likely to be seen bead first, just so I can kind of see what's going to go on with the with my welder, and it was just a little lumpier than what I was hoping for, and not very clean. So then we made some adjustments and went this way, and it still was a bit not as nice as I'd like. So I think around here, this was kind of overlapped funny, like there was really no space on this guy, so it was kind of had it tilted up and just kind of barely use any filler at all here. But I think I switched out to a gas lens for some reason. I ended up using my number 5 gas lens. For some reason the call it just didn't seem like it was getting it done today. So after I switched to that, and then I was messing with my style, there's this one dude on Instagram, man, he can weld his titties off. I think it's Rear Wheel STI is his handle, and he makes these big fat perfectly spaced dabs that were just like, so I'm just messing with my style. It's my own stuff and I don't really care if it's fucked up. So I was doing like a little bit of manual pedal pulsing going on there, and it wasn't too bad. So I kept doing that, and it was, you know, okay, a little bit too wide in the spacing and not hot enough in between. You can see like right in here, if you look, focus, you can see like a little, almost like a pinhole. There's like a little butthole right there where it just got too cold from pumping the pedal. So then I just carried on with that, and I really pumped the fuck out of the pedal. And every single one of these beads had that little butthole in the back of it, which is, you know, the last video I talked about pedal stomping, so I actually had to go back over this thing with I just basically just ran it. But yeah, just messing with my style and seeing what I could get out of it. It's not the worst looking thing I've ever done, but I'm not great with aluminum. But you did see that I did I was welding this thing up, and then I got back here and I realized that there's no vent holes in this whole thing. So I'm doing a stop, and because what will happen is you run the hole, and sometimes you can get lucky, but it's like a crapshoot. Sometimes the air inside is like, you know, doing the superheat and expanding thing, and it just blows out, and you end up with a big old pile of shit. So the best thing to do is to pop a hole in it, and we have to do that anyway for our fill neck. So I'll probably go ahead, now that my 4K is back up and it's running, I'll put it on the tripod for you guys to watch with that. But I'll probably figure out where I'm going to put my my mounting bungs and weld those guys on, and then I will figure out where the neck, once that's mounted up, I can put it in the car, kind of play with where the filler neck needs to be. It's going to have to be kind of high because I have no other vent, so, you know, pressure and stuff. But figure out where that's going to be, and once that's going to be, then we'll just, you know, finish welding that, and that other part will be done. So there you go, from cardboard aided design to reality in just a couple of easy steps that you could do at home. One thing I did do, you guys probably saw this, or if you're paying attention you did, I put this AN fitting on here. The hood originally is a little bit lower than you guys probably saw me fiddling with that, but it's a little bit lower than the inside of the hood actually dipped down, and I didn't really, when I first started this, I didn't really take that into account. I wanted to bring this kind of guy out and up and have it, you know, just sit in the middle of the radiator front bumper area, but I couldn't. I had to drop it down really low, which kind of left me at this 45-degree angle as opposed to where I wanted to be, which was nice and high, because of that inside of that hood sits lower than what I thought. So I took this AN6 fitting and I just turned it over, and on the back side I just filled it, except just like a pinhole. I left just like a pinhole open, and then I got this little flare cap fitting, and on the top of it I put a hole that's maybe 20 thou. It's pretty small, 35 thou, something like that. And so then it's two really small orifices that, you know, water's going to slosh around this thing, or coolant's going to slosh around this thing, and it's going to want to kind of splash around, but that should keep it in mostly the tank. I understand this is aluminum and that it's going to, you know, react with the meth that's in the windshield washer fluid. I don't really give a shit, because it's just a windshield washer fluid reservoir. And yeah, so I did make a little. This guy fit pretty nice. I probably should have drilled the hole a little bit smaller than what I did, but it's in there good. But I made this little like latch to kind of hold it in place, and now I just need to put the O-ring back on my cap. You always take those off before you start welding, because it's no bueno. And we'll start. But okay, this is probably going to end badly with me getting wet, but what else? What else? Woo, look at that! That sucker has got some power. Oh, I like clean windshields. Big fan of clean windshields. That makes me very happy. Very happy. I don't see anything dripping out of the tank, so it's a good deal. So all that water on the windshield is the equivalent of success. That's what we're after. Pretty good. I think it turned out pretty well. It's can't even really see it when you open the hood, and it's just sitting right up there in between those grill vents, so it's not really distracting from anything. It will put let's see, about a gallon of water. I want to say that's a gallon equals like 8 pounds maybe, I don't know. So that will keep me from doing wheelies, because it's the point of the car where it's the furthest away. So I put the most weight, the highest I could, and it'll totally stop the wheelies that we've been battling with on the street so far. But yeah, man, I like to have all the modern features, all the modern creature comforts is kind of the plan. And next we got all the little pieces and parts to start the center console. I got to make a breather box, so maybe I'll do that real quick. I just need a really small one because it's not doing much blow by at all. But that's gonna wrap this video up. I think that's enough for one video. So thanks for dropping in, checking out the channel, Monkey Fab. Please go to my website and check that out if you would. It's monkeyfabgarage.com. There's lots of stuff there for, you know, fabrication. If you want to build a turbo car, it's there for you, man. So go check it out. And I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned something. This is Monkey Fab out.